I bought my first computer in 1983. It came with MS-DOS 2.0. As you can imagine, it was quite primitive. Over the next 12 years, MS-DOS went through 15 revisions. I enjoyed MS-DOS and got quite proficient in its use. It is interesting to note that MS-DOS was never thrown out or replaced. It was upgraded. And even today it is embedded in Windows. We have come to accept software upgrades, but just how comfortable are we with prophetic upgrades? After the great disappointment of 1844, the vast majority of folks threw out their prophetic beliefs. Only about 20 faithful souls held on until God provided an upgrade. In the early days of Adventism, upgrades came frequently. It was known as the Advent movement. Those were exciting days, but the spirit of investigation soon died down. Folks became satisfied with their current version of prophecy, and there hasn't been much movement since. And today, few Adventists see the need for any further revisions of their prophetic understandings. I sure wish Sister White was still alive, but the great work she so bravely pioneered has been left to us to carry on. When we shall soon meet her on that beautiful shore, will she be proud of the advancement we have made since she was laid to rest? Jamie Parker went to Pastor Riley and asked for an explanation of Daniel 12, where it mentions the 1,335 days. Pastor Riley said that since Sister White had almost nothing to say about it, it was not important. A young lady went to Sister Gentry and asked about the daily. Sister Gentry said that since Ellen White never elaborated on the daily, it was not necessary for us to study it. With this background, listen now to this allegory. In her later years, Ellen White built a home. She commissioned an experienced architect. She hired a competent contractor who employed a crew of seasoned builders. She used quality materials throughout. But before the home was finished, she died. When the funeral and the mourning was over, the General Conference brethren went to see the home. The exterior presented a stately appearance. The entrance was inviting. The sitting room was spacious and well appointed. The bedrooms were light and airy and furnished with fine furniture. The library where Sister White intended to do her writing was a showroom any librarian would be proud of. But when they opened the bathroom door, they noticed that the room had been nicely painted and papered. The cabinets were hung, but there was no sink, toilet, or tub. And when they entered the kitchen, they were surprised to see that it, too, was unfinished. By and by, the General Conference brethren died and went to heaven. They found Sister White seated comfortably under the tree of life. She rose and greeted them amicably, and hastened to lament that she had died before finishing her new home. Possible scenario number 1. The brethren assured her that they had brought back the very same contractor and instructed him to finish the home. They were careful to maintain the level of perfection and the standard of quality evident in the rest of the home. Sister White was very pleased with this report and applauded their decision in completing the work she had pioneered. Possible scenario number 2. The brethren reported that they were faithful to leave the bathroom just as she had left it. Throughout the ensuing years, they guarded it carefully, making sure that no changes were attempted. And as far as the kitchen, they explained that since she was inspired and since she did not spend much money on the kitchen, they figured she did not regard the kitchen as very important. Therefore, the kitchen was also left unfinished. Sister White was puzzled. She did not know what to say. She resumed her place on the soft grass and turned her mind to more pleasant thoughts.